What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions.
And during the few moments that we have left, we want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
The cult of personality. I know your anger, I know your dreams. I've been everything you wanna be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. Like Mussolini and Kennedy, I'm the cult of personality. The cult of personality, the cult of personality.
A very big and grand welcome to all the fellow decoders out there around the world. Wherever you are, my name is Logan and this is Decode Your Reality, and today we're going to be breaking down and decoding the cult of personality, which, ladies and gentlemen, that includes you. That includes me. It's every one of us. We are part of the cult of personality. This one was a fun one, and it really starts from the song that is either playing or was playing. I haven't edited this yet, and I don't do anything but improv, so I'm not sure how this is going to roll out, but the song that was playing in the beginning of this presentation, the introduction, was from the band Living Colour. This song has always stood out in my mind. I was an 80s kind of kid. I grew up listening to rock, metal. This was one of my favorite songs growing up. This came out in 1988 by the band Living Colour. And this is their most famous song. And here it is, right here. And the very reason why I started decode, I've had this on the shelf for a while, but folks, even if you're not somebody from the 1980s, I promise you this is going to blow your freaking doors off. Because I will show once again, this will be absolutely clear. This will be undeniable. The methodology that I will be presenting to you today will show that mankind is being used. We are all being used, and we're all just actors or actresses on the world stage, and this is no exception. And we are the personality, and we are part of the cult. And it's from the sun, and I'm going to show you that with clear and convincing evidence. So this song coming out in 1988, July 14th, I'm going to break all this down, the length of the song, the band. This is going to be, folks, I promise you this will be well worth your time, even though you may not be a fan of this song or band, but all you got to start doing is decoding the song, and then everybody would have to be in on the conspiracy, so we rule that out. That's ridiculous, thinking that man's running this. You see, the background of this song came from the Soviet leader Nikita, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Here is the guy right here. In 1956, he coined this phrase, cult of personality, and its consequences, the speech. 1956, we're going to be talking about that. You can read all about this. I would encourage you. I'm going to leave this in the descriptions of this video. So if you want to go click on these and read about it, I would encourage you to do that. And let's break this down, folks. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to blow your mind. I really, really will. If you're new to this, welcome out. If you're new from somebody else's channel, welcome out. And as you progress through these videos, you're going to see that I've been showing time and time again, hundreds of videos now, that mankind is being used. People, places, and things. I can break down anything and show you the code how it was scripted and already written before each and every one of us got here. And here is the starting point of this presentation. Mankind is being used. We are being used. It's tied into the Great Pyramid of Giza and Orion's Belt, of course, because the latitude, longitude of the Great Pyramid of Giza is 29 degrees north and 31 degrees east, and you add up 29 and 31, you're going to get the number 60. So there's a tie in there, and of course it's tied to this element right here. And if you're new to this, again, we take numerology and we link it to other layers, pure math, prime numbers, the string of pi, and alchemy. This is alchemy, and we have the 60. We tie it to this element called neodymium, which is where Neo from the Matrix got his name from. Tied right to this element. Showing that, if you haven't seen my John Wick Decoded, you'll see how Keanu Reeves is tied right to neodymium through his name, his birth name, showing you that he was coded and scripted. But there's the chosen ones, the 144,000. Neodymium is used to make magnets. It's magnetic. This reality that we all live in is made up of magnetism and electricity. That's where you get that Elohim from. This album came out in 1988. 1988 was a leap year. And there's that very special number 88. The album was called Vivid. I'm going to be breaking that down as well. Here's the band right here. These four being used like everybody else on the world stage. And you just got to enjoy the ride, folks. That's all you got to do. So here it is, showing you this. I'm going to show this at the very end again because it will tie into the guy who coined this phrase, cult of personality. This guy right here, Nikita from Russia. I'm going to be showing that. Be undeniable. He has nothing to do with this band. Nothing. But he has everything to do with it because its entire reality is scripted. So in the very beginning of the song, you heard it was Malcolm X speaking. This is the dialogue that the band chose to include in the songs. There was 3 different statements from 3 different leaders on the world stage: Malcolm X, Franklin D. Roosevelt, and I can't remember the third guy. Darn it. But anyway, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Malcolm X, John F. Kennedy. That was it. So you can decode all of that. But here's the very opening statement of the song right here. And it was by, his name's Malcolm Little, but he went by Malcolm X. And when you break down his birthday and his assassination date, here it is right here. And of course, I'm going to bring the cards in because the cards have everything to do with our reality. 52 cards matching the 52 weeks, 4 suits, 4 seasons. You know the drill. Well, notice that his birth card, May 19th, is the King Clubs card. How very fitting. And it's the 26th card in the deck. And then his assassination date, February 21st, is the 4 Diamonds card, which is the 30th card in the deck. And if you take 30 and you add it to the number 26, you're going to get the number 56. And I'll just go right back again to this background of the song and what year this leader from the Soviet Union, Nikita, that coined cult of personality, 1956. So there's going to be a tie-in to that because everything's scripted. You just got to look for it. Most of you should know what the 56 and the 137 is tied to. We're going to get into that. So let's get into the topics during this presentation. There's only a few. I'm trying to keep these a little bit more condensed and get it moving along quickly. So in the 0 position, always want to include the 0. Everything comes from the 0. The intro, which is kind of what I'm doing now. Number 1, lights, camera, action. We're living in a movie. It's a movie. Simulation. Lights, camera, action. Number 2, the album of Cult of Personality by Living Colour. It's called Vivid. We're going to break that down. Number 3, of course, the title. This is what we all belong to, by the way. We have personalities and we belong to the cult of personality. And it's the architect or architects that uses us to experience its own game. I've shown this over and over now. And I always love to hear what you see during these presentations. So in the 4th position, share your comments. What did you see? Love to hear your comments. So let's get into the very first topic. Lights, camera, action. That's what they say in Hollywood, because we're in a Hollywood movie. And here is the actors. They're musicians. But here they are making up the band Living Colour. Just think about the band's name. Living. It's Living Colour. We are human slowed down into physical matter. Living Colour. Do you think these guys thought of that when they created their band name? Maybe. But it doesn't matter because man's being used. But here are the 4 members of the band. Corey Glover, Muzz Skillings. I think I have these correct. If I have them incorrect, I may have them these swapped. William Calhoun, the drummer, and Vernon Reid, the guitarist. Notice the days of birth. He's born on the 22nd. He's born on the 22nd. He's born on the 6th. He's born on the 6th. How very fitting. Very tightly woven band. Here is the band kind of in the modern day. Still playing. Just, I don't know if they're playing with Living Colour, but I know the lead singer, Danny Glover, is still performing quite a bit. But here is their birthdays, and when you take and add them up, 6 plus 6 is 12. 22 plus 22 is 44. 44 plus 12. Get out your calculators. It's going to give you the number 56. And then you go back to the guy who coined Cult of Personality, Nikita, and when did he do it? 1956. So clearly, there's the tie-in. And this is mankind being used, folks. This is how tightly woven this script is. We know 137 is tied to the angle of light, amongst other things. But there is the 137 through the primes using pure math. It's the 33rd prime number. Tied to the crucifixion, tied to ascension, tied to when water becomes a different state through transmutation. 33 to 32. This is all about light into physical matter, and this is what these guys are. They are the physical matter. This is what we all are. We are the cult of personality. And we're the lights, camera, action. This is how much of a joke it is. This is how funny this stuff is. To me, anyway. I don't know if you find humor in it. But life's a joke. We're being used. It's all theater. Shakespeare was absolutely correct. We're all actors and actresses playing out our roles. And it's lights, camera, action. And that's a direct match. It's 56. Tied to the element barium. Tied to the 33rd prime number. And of course, tied to that story of Jesus Christ. That's why you have being the Son of God and tied to the Son and all that kind of stuff. Those allegories. So where does the number 56? Since these guys are tied to it, since the guy who coined the word cult of personality came out with his speech in 1956, it's a deep number for this entire presentation in the string of pi. Finding all the numbers, we make up the string of pi through our emotions. The number 56 is found at the 210th decimal digit, 210, 211. 2 digits. It's a compound number. If you add those up, simple math, you're going to get the number 421. And of course, it is a prime number. Why wouldn't it be? Because 56 tied to the cult of personality and tied to the Christ, tied to the number 33, and it's tied to this element here called lead, which is what we all are. We are all lead, turning lead into gold. These musicians turning lead into gold. It's right there and you can't miss it. And it's lights, camera, action. The light comes down, gets slowed down into physical matter, which is mankind. We become lead, and then we are food for the gods, as the Greeks coined it as ambrosia. The 82, of course, is tied to Prison Planet, which I have part 1 and part 2. If you haven't seen those, you should definitely check those out. I showed more times than not very supporting evidence on us being stuck inside this planet called Earth. And, you know, obviously, is it a prison? Well, it's a beautiful one, right? But there is a lot of suffering. But do we ever get out of it? That remains to be seen. It's only a theory and opinion. It's not provable if somebody thinks otherwise. we may not have a choice. We may be coming back here, get recycled over and over and over again. So just be the best little devil you can be. Make sure you check that off the list. But there's the connection. Prison Planet 52 through the string of pi. The number 82 occupies digits 52 and 53, which of course is 105, which is great architect of the universe, because that's what it is. It's the whatever's creating this reality likes to come down here and become us. It becomes mankind, uses us to experience its own game. It becomes its own lead, and then it's led to gold going back to the sun. Saturn has a big say in that as well. But this is solidified proof, in my opinion, that we're in a prison planet, and these guys are tied to it. It's right there. You can't miss it. Lights, camera, action. It's light being transmitted down into physical matter, slow down, and we become man. And we end up incarnating into a body, and we become an avatar, and we become lead. So once again, here's the guy who said this in his speech, the grassroots speech. This was the intro that they decided, Living Colour, the band decided to use for their song. And what do you think the odds would be? You think they sat down with numerology, the cards, and alchemy and chose the song based on that? Or maybe the producer is just really heavily invested in the occult and they're using all these layers of methodology? I freaking doubt it, but it's possible. But it doesn't matter anyway, because man's being used. Everybody would have to be in on the conspiracy. The band members, the producer, the directors, Malcolm X, all of them would have to be in on the conspiracy, because they're all being used in this entire scenario. So Malcolm X, his birth card and then his assassination card is the number 56, 26, and 30 right there. 56. The cards always speak their truth. And we go right back to these guys right here and the band members, lights, camera, action, and their birthdays. How about that? So, folks, when do you draw the line to make a decision to realize that mankind is not doing a damn thing? We're being used. And I'm totally cool with that. Just know who you are and why you're here. That's the most important thing you can do, because you have no control. You may have a little bit of free will. I'm not going to take that away from anybody. And again, these are just my opinions, by the way, as I state in the majority of my videos. So if you weren't convinced then, let's keep going. As I always say, let's keep going. I'm going to keep supporting it. So here are the Living Colour band members and their birth cards based on their birthdays. Corey Glover, Muzz Skillings, William Calhoun, Vernon Reed. 2 diamonds, 8 spades, 6 clubs, 4 clubs. And we then find what numbered cards they are. 28, 47, 19, 17. And if you're wondering how I got those, here's the natural lineages of the cards right here, just so you can see that I'm being very transparent. I'm not going to go through each and every one, but if you want to fact check that, just send me an email and request these graphics and I'll send them to you. My email is decodeyourreality@gmail.com. I'll be happy to send them to you. All right, be happy to send them to you. So here we go, 28, 47, 19, and 17. 2 diamonds, 8 spades, 6 clubs, 4 clubs. And when we bring those in right here, and we add them all up, here it is, using the trusty calculator, we're going to get the number 111. 111. That's, of course, going to tie into the binary system, which is more advanced decoding, more layers I can bring in to show you another layer that man would have to get if people still think they're consciously like all these guys. Some people think these guys are in on the conspiracy. They're trying to pull the woolly over your eyes. That's what some people believe. Well, again, I'm not here to twist anybody's arm. I'm not poking fun at anybody. But at what point are you going to draw the line and realize you don't have the control you think you got? And this reality is completely scripted, and it ain't scripted by man, good and bad. So the 111, what's that tied to? The freaking sun. Because here's the magic square of the sun, and magic square of the sun, of course, is 666, the great beast above us, but it's 6 rows of 111. So there it is. There's the tie-in right there. And so, you know, the band name, Living Colour. What does the sun do when it shines through water? It makes a rainbow, the color, the hue, man. There it is. You think these guys knew this stuff? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. And then we bring in numberempire.com. 607 is the 111th prime number. You just drop that 0 there and you're going to get 67. And then we are led to the most magnetic. Think about what I'm telling you. The most magnetic element on the entire periodic table. It's Santa's element. Ho, ho, ho. It's holmium and element number 67. And this is, of course, 67 is the 19th prime number, and the 19th card in the tarot is the sun card. I've shown that in my Sun Devil decode. Because the sun is the devil, and we are the devil in human form. We are the children of the sun and the moon. The moon's got to be in there because it's the recycle process. And then the 164 is the hierarchy of the 64 possible codons in the DNA, the 164. It's the ruler of the 64. So let's bring in, if you weren't convinced then, let's keep going. How about the elements on the periodic table that match to their birthdays? Well, Corey and Muzz, both born on the 6th, they would both be carbon. And then Calhoun and Reed, both born on the 22nd, they would be titanium. There it is. When we bring those in and we add them up, carbon, 2 carbons, 2 titaniums, using the trusty calculator, look at what number we get. We get the freaking 119. Which is a mirror of the 911. That's how important the 911 is. If you know, and folks, if you know what this means, see, this is where a fashion decoder will be able to know what does the 119 mean? What is the one? If you're a decoder and you're after decoding and you want to, what is the one? That's why, folks, it's not gematria is coding. We are decoding. I really want to get that out to all of you. We decode. And when you get the numbers, you now have to move it into numerology. So if you don't know how numerology works, then you're not going to have the layers that you're going to need to go deeper into what the true machinations of decoding is all about. Because it is not about gematria. It's numerology, the science of numbers. I don't know how to be more straight with all of you that are decoders from wherever you are. And I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm not trying to have an attitude with people, but you must know what numerology, what does 119 mean? If you find the 119, what does it mean? You got to know this stuff. This is a big deal. And these guys are coded. These guys are being used to sing the song Cult of Personality. They're from the sun. They're from the sun, just like all of us. When you take the 119.734 and you add that up, 119 plus 734, you're going to get 853. And it's not just any number, it's the frickin' 147th prime number, which is a hierarchy of the 47. 147. We go right back to this, which of course is tied to Saturn and the moon Titan, the Titans. Titanium is from the fallen angel story. We are all fallen angels, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how much more serious I can be with all of you. We are all fallen angels, all of us. Every single one of us. And this should show you. Those of you that are in the advanced decoding, this 853, of course, this can be the 88 because 5 plus 3 is 8, and then you get the 88 there. But in the string of pi, this is how powerful this is. 853 occupies that 0 at the 101. Those of you that know what the 101 is, if you're a decoder, advanced decoding, what is that 101? You know, I'll give you the 101 on it. What is the 101? If you know what this symbol, this is symbols here now, not just numbers. 853 is the 0 in between the two ones. It's the portal. It's the portal. And these guys, it's right there. This is telling you they came down into the portal from the sun. Children of the sun. This is undeniable if you're a decoder and you're into math. Not just theories and opinions. So let's get into the album now. The album that they titled it, called Vivid. Of course, color's vivid, right? Vivid. Here's the breakdown of it. Let's get into the length of the album. 49 minutes and 13 seconds, of course, down in a hole. This is just really humorous when you start to look at this. When you look at this down in a hole, 49. 49, down in a hole. What hole did you go down into? From the sun. That, whatever that round circle is in the sky, Stargate portal, that's it. That's down in a hole. Right there. And you think these guys, the producers, you think Ed Stasium and Mick, you think these guys were like, we got to get it at 49 minutes and 13 seconds because it has to equal this. Folks, that's crazy thinking. Yes, people can become aware of the code. But even when you become aware of it, you're still being used. You just become aware of it and now you're being used. Becoming aware of it. So there it is, 4913. There's the two elements. We bring alchemy into it. We get indium going inward, going into the hole. And aluminum 13. We add those up using the trusty calculator. I mean, look at the outcome you get. I mean, come on. When do you draw the line? It's pi. What is pi? The perfect circle. That's what it is. It's the perfect circle. Pi, 3.141. It's pi. Down in a hole. Pi. And then you even have the 88 there in the end. Folks, you can just keep going with this and have fun with this. So the release date of this album, May 3rd, otherwise written as 53. There it is, the element that's tied to that. It's iodine, which is an essential element for the body, for the thyroid. Essential element. And of course, it's tied to the only element that has the letter I, as in I am that I am, the architect. Here is the May 3rd card, right here. I found that. Just for those of you that are new, here's the boilerplate chart for the cards of illumination. You have your 12 months running horizontally and then your 31 days running vertically. And your birth card's going to be in here, those of you that are new. And all you got to do is just pick out your month and scroll down and find the day and you'll get it. But here it is, May 3rd, 3 Spades card. And of course, the 3 Spades card's tied to the Truman Show. If you go watch my decode on the Truman Show, showing you that mankind's being used. We're in the Truman Show. Life's a joke. And it's the 42nd card in the deck tied to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. More joke, more comedian stuff, more comedy. The architect's a comedian. God's a comedian. Life, the universe, everything. 42. And it's tied to this word right there. Reincarnation, Wonderland, Crucifixion. All 42s. What do you think the odds would be? Just using the Chaldean, by the way. I don't even have to use any other cipher. Many people have to use other ciphers to get their connections. I don't. Because it's all in the Chaldean. All of it. It's all in there. It's clear. It's a joke. It's the I am coming down from the sun. And writing this album, becoming man. Influencing man. 53 iodine, 126. This is the 42nd card in the deck tied to May 3rd. And of course, bring in another layer, another element. What's the 42nd element? It's molybdenum. What does molybdenum mean? Comes from the word molybdos. It means lead. Think about what I'm telling you. It means lead. The I becomes lead. The sun slows down. It becomes lead to make this album. It uses these guys to make the album. So we could go a little bit further and we realize that it's the average weight of molybdenum is 295s, and the 95 is tied to this element called americium, which is the am. So now we have the I found from the release date, May 3rd, 53. We have the I and we have the am. We just got to go a little bit deeper, but there it is. It's the I am. And when you add up these two elements, go ahead and get out your calculators, just press pause and add up americium and add up iodine. See what number you get, and you're going to link it to Nikola Tesla. The keys to the universe. I am, iodine and americium. And it's tied to this album, From the Sun. When you add up these two right here, these two elements, found from the card and from the the release date of this, May 3rd, there it is. And the release date card is 3 Spades, 42nd card, molybdenum. Going to the trusty calculator, adding those two up. Look at what number you get. A triple two. 222.861, and that's where you're going to get into Lucifer. And this should clearly tell you, and if you go watch my Sun Devil, the sun is the devil, it's Lucifer. Make no mistake about it. You don't have to like it, but that is what I have been showing now. That's my support. These videos, not just my opinion, using multiple layers. What's 222? Radon. Radon is the decay of radium. What's radium? Radium is Ra, the sun god. And this is where the only scripture in the Old Testament, the only one now, for those of you that are fans of theology, there's only one in the entire New and Old Testament, Isaiah 14 verses 12. Here is the scripture. The big takeaway, the clue is what they describe Lucifer as. It's the son of the morning. What's another name for morning? The dawn. It's radon. It's right there. You just got to look. Found from this album. So it's telling you this album, and look at all the colors. Living color. It's man being color, slowed down from the sun. The sun creates the colors. What is the sun? Lucifer, the light bearer. How do you can't screw that up? Let's get into the last topic. I think Cult of Personality, the album, the song, Cult of Personality. So remember, this was the beginning of the song that you heard from Malcolm X. The beginning of this song. And during the few moments that we have left, we want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand. And then the guitar kicks in. Malcolm X. That's what they chose for this song. Or did it choose them? Well, it chose them. They chose it. Doesn't matter. These guys were being used. The producers being used. Look at the breakdown, the subtleties. 111 letters tied to the sun, the magic square of the sun. 26, the word G-O-D is 26. And then look at the outcome of the total numerology. What do you see there? It's frickin' pi. So what's the language that everybody can hear, that can easily understand? It's pi. It's stuck on the perfect circle, which is right here. This is what we're in. We're in pi. Earth is pi. And it's made up of numbers, symbols, frequency, vibration. It's the perfect circle. Maynard from Tool, he knows what's up. He's got a band called Perfect Circle. Why? Because it's tied to the 52. The 56 elements called tellurium. Tellurium comes from the word right here, comes from the Latin word tellus. It means earth. Perfect circle. You can't make this up, folks. You can't screw this up. This is the perfect circle. This is the language right here on earth. Earth is 52 through the English. Perfect circle's 52. Earth is 17 through the Chaldean. Circle is 17. You can't screw this up once you see it. Tellurium means earth. 127 is the 31st prime. 31 is 3.1. That's pi. You can't mess this up, folks. Mankind is just following the script. They're not in control of the script. They're just not. There it is. The subtleties. This statement from Malcolm X that was in the beginning of their song. 111 letters. The magic square of the sun. 6 rows of 111. 666. It's 26 words tied to this element right there. What's the takeaway? What's in our blood, folks? Iron. Iron is in our blood. That's undeniable. That's not my opinion, by the way. And the word G-O-D in the English is 26. It's all right there. All of it. All in the code. All in the script. So here's the actual song title. Cult of Personality. Notice it's a 71. Cult of Personality. 71. And 71 is a very special number because it's tied to the number 20. The 20th prime is the 71. And, you know, just for fun, the word free equals the number 20. The word Mason equals the number 20. So what do you think Freemasons are tied to? The sun. That's why you go study the Masonic stuff, it's Lucifer. Hello, they got it right. They have it right. How does that make you feel? Does that piss you off? Does that make them evil? And I will clearly tell all of you right now, no, I am not. I do not belong to a lodge. I am not a Mason. I'm a Free Logan. That's my joke. But the joke is on people that just constantly blame these societies and they think they got it figured out when they don't even know how to decode, and they just end up regurgitating a bunch of nonsense that they read in a book or someone told them or whatever. Now, I'm not denying there's no evil on the world stage. It's infiltrated everything. But let's be very clear. We are children from the Son. And the Father, obviously, is Lucifer. Obviously, if you use this methodology. So when Jesus said, no one gets to the Father except through me, who do you think Jesus was referencing? It's a hard pill to swallow for some people. So there it is. 20 is duality. It's right there. So the cult of personality, we end up living out our lives in duality. We become, and of course, how many colors of the rainbow? 7. There it is. 1 through 7. It's right there. You can't screw it up. This song came out. 71 is tied to 20 and duality, tied to Free and Mason. Folks, there you have it. I'm going to be showing more of that. What about the actual release date of the album? When this came out? July 14th. Otherwise written as 714. We then find the key in the 71st element, lutetium, which is got the 174 in there. It's just not in that direct order, but it's right there. It's a number anagram. Manly P. Hall in his Secret Teachings of All Ages, if you're a fan of that guy, he even said in his book that Lucifer's number is the number 741. It's right there. I mean, what would the odds be that he says that? And then lutetium starts with Lu, which is the same as Lucifer, and it's the 71, and it's the cult of personality. So what is this telling us? We are from the Sun. We are children of the Sun. Slow down into physical matter, we become our personality, and we become a cult of that. Clearly you can see that now, folks. If you weren't convinced, here's more. Here's more information. Here is the card of illumination that is tied to July 14th. The Ace Diamonds card. Just so we can be really transparent, here it is. Here's July, going down to the 14. There it is, the Ace Diamonds card. Just so we can be very transparent. And it's the 27th card in the deck. Let's just be really transparent with that. Here it is, the Ace Diamonds, card number 27. And of course, the words that match the 27, big time words. Currency, language. What did they say in the beginning? A language that we all can understand. Currency, pi, through the string of pi, emotions, from the Sun, currency, magnetism, electricity. And the dragonfly, here's this card deck came out in 1988. I can assure you the authors that wrote this card deck weren't sitting down with the band members and they were in cahoots, and the producer and the directors of this stuff. They're not in cahoots, trying to pull a woolly over your eyes, trying to make you look like a fool and mock you like some people think. Folks, this is a script that was written long before each and every one of us got here. It's all tied together, past, present, and future. The great dragon got hurled down. Yeah, it's the sun's rays, magnetism and electricity, right there. 27, currency, the language that everybody can understand, 27. The word Chaldean equals 27, which is why I favor it over all of the ciphers. How about the day, July 14th? There it is in the very dead center. And remember, 1988 was a leap year. So it was the 196th day of the year, which is tied to this element right there called gold. And when you go to the Royal Society of Chemistry and you look at the element gold, here it is. What do they have for a picture of that? It's the sun, because that's what gold is from, the sun. Gold means the sun, turning lead into gold. When we come down and incarnate into man and become our avatar, we become lead. And it's going back to the sun, lead to gold. We're being used, harvested for our energy. That's why the Anunnaki story, we're mining for gold. No, we're being used for our energy. to feed the battery. The sun is a battery. The sun is a battery. Can't mess it up. How about the length of the song? 4 minutes and 54 seconds. 4 minutes is 4 times 60, 60 seconds, 240 seconds. And then you take that additional 54 seconds, you add it up, you're going to get the number 294. Bring it into the string of pi. Of course, you always want to fact check it. Those of you that are decoders, in the string of pi, where is it found? At the 186th decimal digit, 186, 187, 188. That 188, boy, woo, that's another story. But there it is, tied to the number 1109. Remember what I showed you with the band members and their total of 119. There it is right there, staring you in the face, showing you that mankind could never code this at this layer. Never. Too many moving parts. It's too deep. It's too complicated. And then we add up 4 plus 54 from the length of the song, gives us 59. And of course, when we come down here and become man, we become physical matter, we have to then play the game of life. And 59, tied to this element right here, praseodymium. And if you go study this, it comes from the Greek words and it means the green twin. That's right, because when the sun's rays come down, we become the Gemini. Gemini is 19, Master's 19, the Sun card is the 19. We get stuck inside the prison. This is the prison right here. Gemini is the third zodiac sign. Pi is 3.14. I've been showing this over and over and over. We get stuck in time. 3.14 is being stuck in time. Time is 14. That's exactly what this is showing. We become man. We become Living Color. The band name Living Color. So they spelled it. And using 2 different ciphers. There's the Tetragrammaton in the English. If you're not a fan of the Chaldean, there's the English, the 157, tied to this element, gadolinium. Of course, used to be used to make television screens. Think about what I'm telling you. Used to make television screens. What comes through television screens? Color. It emits colors and light. And 64 possible codons in our DNA. That's why I have the double helix there. You can't mess this up once you see it. So just to end this transmission, I have a few more slides. Thanks for sticking with me. Here's the guy who first coined the phrase cult of personality. I showed this in the beginning. Nikita, not even going to try to pronounce his name. But clearly you can see this guy was being used. Look at what his total name numerology is. 95, which is the am, one half of the I am. We're talking about the cult of personality, the cult of color, Living Color. It's where they got this name from. It's where this band got their name, the name of the song from, is from this guy. And this guy is the I am with his name. If you're not convinced there, let's go a little bit further. Bringing it into the string of pi. Where's that 95 found? Digits 30 and 31, which is going to give you 61, which is going to give you Promethium and the Titan that stole fire and gave it to the humans. That's for a different story, but it's tied to this word called demiurge. The Gnostic demiurge. And the 30 is tied to this element right here. It's tied to zinc as well, but it's tied to this element right here, tied to the devil card, because the devil card is the number 15, of course, because the demiurge is the devil, the sun devil. And it's phosphorus. What's phosphorus? Lucifer, the light bearer. The light bearer, phosphorus, the demiurge, the light bearer. This guy was being used to coin this phrase and do whatever else he did on the world stage by the demiurge, naturally. So what's going on here? This guy's birth, April 15th. Now remember, he's Russian. So do we have a Russian Mason here? Those of you that just keep blaming the Masons, I don't really care. I don't belong to any of them. It's just hilarious when you just see these people blame, and they have no idea what they're talking about. This guy's Russian. So is he a Russian Mason? Look at what day of the year he was born. April 15th, 105th day of the year. This is what the Masons call the God, the G-O-D, the great architect of the universe. There it is, 105. Have you seen my decode on 501c3? Tax exempt? 501? How about Levi's 501 Blues? You think man's running this reality? You're crazy for thinking that. Mankind is being used. This guy was being used. Right there. It's the architect becoming man. It's right there. You can't miss it with the numbers. 260, 26 is the GOD. And there it is. You add on 2 words to the great architect of the universe. Great architect of the universe becomes man. That's right. 144. Which is tied to what? Mankind is being used. Tied to the element neodymium. The 144 is right there. Folks, you can't miss this. Okay? When you have the eyes to see and you let go some of the program beliefs that you have, you can't miss this. 60. Neodymium. Great architect of the universe becomes man. 144. The chosen ones. That's right, because the architect comes down here and plays out mankind. That's exactly how this reality works. And I've shown it, and now I'm supporting it through a song that came out in 1988, which has absolutely nothing to do with this Nikita dude, but it has everything to do with it. This guy's in politics, they're in music. Nothing to do with one another, yet clearly they have everything to do with one another. Alchemy, science, nothing to do with these dudes. Has everything to do with them. Numerology, nothing to do with these dudes. Has everything to do with it. Has everything to do with this dude right here. And he must be a Russian Mason then. For some of you that think that the Masons are doing everything on the world stage, it's all Masonic, it's all Jesuits, and they're all the ones that are behind everything. No, ladies and gentlemen, they're not behind a damn thing. They're being used just as well as you are and I am. So just enjoy the ride. Last slide. Last slide. Square and compass. 47. Tetragrammaton. 47. What's Tetragrammaton? The ancient Israelite God of the Bible. What runs Washington, D.C.? The ancient Israelite God of the Bible. Who created Washington, D.C.? The Masons. So what runs the Masons? Tetragrammaton. Here's the ball and stick model of the element phosphorus, tied to Lucifer, which is why they worship Lucifer. Morals and dogma. Lucifer is the GOD. Well, what's the Tetragrammaton then? The God of the Bible. That would make Lucifer the God of the Bible. And of course, we have this element right here, 47, titanium, 22, tied to Taurus, tied to the Bible. Taurus is the bull, the Bible, Old and New Testament. That's why they have the Jesus in Washington, D.C. Go watch The Family on Netflix. There's no separation between Jesus and the states and governments, all tied together. And it's Saturn's moon, Titan. Saturn comes in here in a big way. I didn't even bring it into this because the focal point was on the sun. And that's what's running this reality. We are all light beings slowed down into physical matter, and we're being used to express the blueprint. So folks, what did you see during this presentation? I know I went off on a few different tangents, and I will very clearly tell each and every one of you, I'm not directing my energy at any one individual on the world stage. I'm not here to poke fun at anybody. I'm here to speak my truth. If you don't like what I gotta say, maybe you're on the wrong channel. If you don't agree with what I have to say, that's totally awesome. I'm not expecting everybody to listen and believe what I'm showing you. You gotta make the truth your own. So folks, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan. This is Decode Your Reality. I thank each and every one of you for your donations, your Patreon, those of you that are Patreons, those of you that want to get a reading, you're interested in a reading. I'm really backed up right now, but if you send me an email, we'll get you squared away. I'm pushed way back into December, but my email is decodeyourreality@gmail.com. Just send me an email, request that information, and we'll get you squared away. Folks, that's all I got. Until next time, we'll see you later.